Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning and just laid there? Not because you were still sleepy, but because the thought of getting up felt like a chore? Maybe your back ached a little. Maybe your mind was already racing with the day's worries. Or maybe, just maybe, you found yourself thinking, is this what getting older is supposed to feel like? If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something. It doesn't have to be this way. Waking up can feel like a fresh start again. It can be something to look forward to, not something to dread. Let's talk about that first moment when the alarm rings or the sunlight filters through the blinds and you realize a new day is here. What do you usually do? Do you groan, reach for the snooze button, or pull the covers up tighter? Or do you sit up, take a deep breath, and greet the morning with intention? I used to believe that being tired in the morning was just part of getting older. That's life, I thought. But the truth is, a healthier morning isn't just for the young. It's for all of us. And it can start with the tiniest change. Now, I'm not here to sell you some elaborate morning boot camp. I'm here to walk with you through some simple, realistic shifts, tiny steps that can make a big difference. Because how you start your day really does set the tone for everything that follows. Let me ask you, when was the last time you drank a full glass of water before your coffee or tea? It sounds so simple, but staying hydrated first thing in the morning helps wake up your brain, gets your digestive system moving, and can even boost your mood. I tried it myself after hearing a friend talk about how it changed her mornings. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect much. But within a week, I noticed I wasn't dragging through the first part of the day anymore. I actually felt awake. It's not magic. It's just giving your body what it needs after a long night of fasting. Think of it like turning the key in the ignition before driving. That glass of water? That's your key. And then there's movement. Not a full workout, just a little stretching. Maybe 5 minutes. Maybe even less. Roll your shoulders. Wiggle your toes. Reach your arms up and breathe deeply. That little ritual can help your blood flow and reduce stiffness, especially in the joints that like to grumble in the morning. You know the ones I mean. One woman I know, she's in her late 70s, shared with me that she started doing 10 shoulder rolls and 5 gentle knee bends every morning before brushing her teeth. That was it. Within 2 weeks, she told me her knees didn't complain as loudly when she walked down the stairs. She didn't need fancy equipment or a gym membership. Just a bit of awareness, a bit of care. What about you? Have you tried adding a little stretch or breath work into your mornings? Speaking of breath work, let's talk about your mind. Because a healthy morning isn't just about the body. It's also about the thoughts you start your day with. And trust me, I know how loud those thoughts can be. The to-do list, the worries, the what-ifs. But here's the thing. You can choose how to greet those thoughts. You can let them overwhelm you before you've even brushed your hair, or you can gently acknowledge them and then take a few minutes to reset your mind. One of the easiest ways to do that. Just breathe. That's it. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Breathe in slowly for 4 counts. Hold it. Then breathe out gently. Do this a few times and suddenly you're not reacting to the day. You're creating it. One friend I admire told me he does this right after waking up, before checking his phone, before turning on the TV. He said it's like giving his brain a calm, quiet place to land before the world starts knocking. I tried it too, and I can honestly say, even just 3 minutes of mindful breathing changes how I carry myself through the day. Now, let's talk about one more powerful tool you already have, your breakfast. I know. Some of us grew up skipping breakfast or just grabbing whatever's fast and convenient. But after 60, your body needs fuel, and not just any fuel. The right kind. What you eat in the morning doesn't just affect your hunger. It affects your energy, your focus, your blood sugar, even your mood. A small bowl of oatmeal with berries. A slice of whole grain toast with a bit of peanut butter. A boiled egg with a sprinkle of salt and pepper. These aren't extravagant meals, but they give your body what it needs to feel steady and strong. One viewer once wrote to me, saying she switched from coffee and toast to a bowl of yogurt with fruit and chia seeds. I didn't realize how foggy I used to feel until I made that change, she told me. Now, I actually enjoy the quiet of the morning. I'm not in such a rush to get past it. Isn't that beautiful? Enjoying the quiet of the morning, not rushing through it. That's what this is really about. learning to see mornings not as a hurdle, but as a gift. So, I want you to pause for a second and think, what's one small thing you could add to your morning tomorrow? Just one. Could be that glass of water, or a stretch, or simply sitting for 2 minutes and breathing deeply. Whatever it is, start there. And hey, if you've already been trying something that's working for you, I'd really love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. You never know who you might inspire. We'll keep going from here and explore more ways you can make each morning a little brighter, a little healthier, and a little more yours. Now, if you're still with me, I want you to imagine something. Tomorrow morning, instead of waking up and immediately thinking about everything you have to do or everything you didn't do, you just stop for a moment. You sit at the edge of your bed, feet touching the floor, and you simply say to yourself, "This day is mine. I get to choose how I feel." It's a small statement, but it carries a lot of power because so much of our well-being starts in the mind. And when we remind ourselves that we still have choices about how we move, how we think, and how we care for ourselves, we reclaim something that aging sometimes tries to steal, our sense of agency. One viewer once shared with me something really touching. He said, "I used to wake up and just wait for the day to pass. Now, I wake up and wonder what small thing I can do to feel better." That's the shift we're talking about. Not perfection, not a complete overhaul, just a gentle return to yourself. And speaking of gentle, let's talk about light. I'm not just talking about metaphorical light, though that's lovely too. I mean real, actual morning light. Have you ever noticed how your mood changes when you step outside and let the sun hit your skin, even for a few minutes? Morning sunlight plays a big role in regulating your body's internal clock. It tells your brain, hey, it's time to be awake. It also helps with melatonin production later in the day, which means you might just sleep better that night. Even if you're not someone who takes morning walks, maybe the knees are a bit stiff or the weather isn't always friendly, you can still open the curtains. Sit by the window with your cup of tea. Let that natural light greet you. It's one of the most natural, drug-free mood boosters we have. A woman I met at a wellness event told me she started taking her breakfast out to her porch every morning. Just me, the birds, and the sunlight, she said with a smile. I've been happier since. No expensive retreat, no complicated plan, just a few minutes of peace and a morning glow. What about you? Do you get outside in the mornings, even just for a moment? If not, maybe this is the week to try. It might feel small, but it can have a surprisingly big impact on your mental health. Now, let's talk connection. One thing we don't often think about when we talk about health is community. But loneliness, especially in the mornings, can feel heavy. Maybe you used to wake up to the sound of a partner's voice, or kids running around, or even a pet's paws on the floor. And now, mornings feel quiet, a little too quiet. That silence can weigh on you. But here's something beautiful. Connection doesn't always have to be loud or grand. It can be as simple as sending a good morning text to a friend, or writing in a journal and pretending you're writing a letter to someone you love, or turning on a video like this one just to hear a voice reminding you you're not alone. A viewer once commented, "Your morning videos are like coffee with a friend." That stayed with me, because we all need that. A little human warmth, a little companionship to start the day. So maybe tomorrow morning, instead of scrolling through the news first thing, you reach out to someone, or you open your notebook and write something that feels real, or you simply whisper a kind thought to yourself. I'm here, and I matter. Does that sound silly? Maybe, but you know what's sillier? Believing that after a certain age, we no longer deserve to feel hopeful in the morning. That joy belongs only to the young. That's simply not true. And now, I want to mention one more gentle practice that can completely transform how your mornings feel. Gratitude. I know you've heard this before, but let me ask you, when was the last time you actually did it? When was the last time you woke up and thought about what still makes you smile? What's still good? One man I know, he's in his 80s, keeps a tiny notebook by his bed. Every morning, before he brushes his teeth or even checks the time, he writes down one thing he's grateful for. Sometimes it's big, like a phone call with his daughter. Sometimes it's simple. The rain sounds nice today. But every day, he starts by noticing what's good. He told me, it helps me walk into the day with softer shoulders. I love that image. Softer shoulders, lighter heart. What would you write down if you try that tomorrow? Just one thing. Maybe it's the way your pillow felt, or the fact that your hands still work and you can write, or the quiet comfort of knowing that you're here, breathing, watching this, ready to make something better. You have so much wisdom in you, so many mornings behind you, but also so many more ahead. Let's make them count. Together. We're not done yet. There are still more ways to make your mornings feel like a gift, not a grind. But before we go further, I'd love to know, what's been your favorite morning ritual lately? Something you've tried that lifted your spirit just a bit. Let me know in the comments. You might just inspire someone else who's watching right now. There's something powerful about taking your morning back, about deciding, no matter how old you are or how many aches and worries you've carried into the day, that this morning, right here, right now, is a fresh chance. Because it is. Now, we've talked about water, movement, sunlight, connection, and gratitude. But there's one more piece of this puzzle I want to share with you. It's a little less talked about, but incredibly important: forgiveness. I'm not talking about big dramatic moments. I mean the quiet kind. Waking up and forgiving yourself for the things you didn't do yesterday. The walk you skipped. The toast you burned. The phone call you meant to make, but didn't. That whisper of guilt we sometimes carry into the next morning. Have you felt that? Here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect to have a beautiful day. You just need to begin again. I once spoke with a retired teacher who told me, every morning I wake up and imagine I'm meeting myself for the first time. I try not to bring yesterday's baggage to the breakfast table. That image stayed with me. Can you picture that? Sitting down with yourself like an old friend, offering patience, kindness, and maybe even a little humor. So if you've had a rough week, or a rough year, or even a rough decade, maybe tomorrow morning you offer yourself a clean slate. Not because everything is fixed, but because you deserve peace in your heart. You really do. And, sometimes what helps the most is adding a little meaning to your morning. Something to look forward to. Something that lights you up. That could be listening to music you love. Maybe the songs from your youth that make your toes tap. Or reading one page of a book with your morning coffee. Or watering the plants and noticing which leaves are new. Or simply sitting quietly and thinking of someone you love, sending them good energy, even if they're far away. These aren't chores. They're little rituals of care, of presence. One woman emailed me to say she started lighting a candle each morning, not for any specific reason, just to mark the start of the day. It feels sacred, she said, like I'm telling myself this day matters. Isn't that beautiful? So maybe you light a candle, or maybe you just smile at yourself in the mirror, wrinkles and all, and say, "Good morning, old friend." I know mornings can be hard sometimes, especially if you're dealing with health issues, or grief, or just the weight of change. But even in those hard moments, there's still something waiting for you. A breath, a stretch, a soft light on the curtains, a chance to begin again. And that's what I want you to carry with you after watching this. Not a checklist, not pressure to do everything perfectly, just this one idea that you can wake up to a healthier, happier you one tiny choice at a time. Because this isn't about fixing yourself. You're not broken. It's about caring for yourself, gently, intentionally, with the same love you'd offer to someone you treasure. So, tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, or turn on the news, or start the busy rhythm of the day, pause. Just for a breath. Place your hand over your heart, if you want to, and say something kind to yourself. Anything. You've made it to today. I'm proud of you. Let's do the best we can. That's the magic of a morning routine. It's not the habit. It's the message it sends. I matter. And you do. I want to thank you for being here with me, and for taking the time to reflect, to care, and to dream just a little about a better start to your day. You inspire me more than you know. If this video spoke to you, if even one part of it made you think, yes, I could do that, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share your favorite part of your morning, or your biggest challenge, or just say hello and let us know where you're watching from. This is a community, and your voice matters. And if you haven't already, I'd be so honored if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss a moment of encouragement, insight, and simple wisdom right when you need it. Because your best years, they're not behind you. They're not a memory. They're waiting for you every morning you choose to show up with heart, hope, and just a little bit of joy. So, let's wake up to a healthier you. Not someday, but starting tomorrow. And remember, you're not doing this alone. We're doing it together. See you in the next video, my friend.